What up, y'all? I'm the MCMNG.
And now Master Shenlo.
Coming to you live from the hive.
With another tale from the deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got our friend here, Kevin.
Kevin Mickens here. Nice to meet y'all. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming, brother.
Been looking forward to it.
If you want to talk into the mic, if you need to move it.
I need to move it over?
If you want to talk right into that, where that writing is, that's like the best spot.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Man. So glad to finally have you.
Yeah,
it's
man.
Been a while.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you was talking about you did a lot of activism.
Yeah, man. I mean,
been through a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I'd like to hear a little bit about your experience.
Yeah, man. It's been a life. You know, it's been nice. It's been life, though. You know, I met Isaac probably about not even a year ago. He's my boss.
Freaking Isaac.
He's my boss, man. He's a good kid, though. He's a good kid, man. I try to encourage him, and you know, I see a lot of ambition in him, and you know, life in him. You know, and I believe that as a human being, you have a responsibility as an older man, and when you see that in somebody else, you have a responsibility, man, to try to bring out the best in people. And I didn't have that when I was growing up, and like I say, I tell people all the time, I ended up doing 20 years in the penitentiary, you know, and learning what it meant to be a man, and came out and got into, you know, I was a youth pastor, I was a motivational speaker, community activist, started my own business in 2015 to help teenagers and youngsters and kids, man, stay out of trouble. And all I need now is $200 million, man,
to retire for the rest of your life.
to make it all, bring it all together and make it happen, you know. Yeah. That's a little bit about me, man. But
thank you,
man.
How was it helping the teenagers? You know,
hey, man. You know, I just believe that there's no such thing as a throwaway human being. You know, and I believe in our society that we give up on human beings real fast, real easy, especially here in America, man. And I believe, even though I grew up in an Air Force family, man, I grew up in an Air Force family, upper middle class family. I traveled all over the world, you know, and I had football scholarship to play football at San Angelo State University, and came out here to visit my dad, and ended up getting involved with some shit, man, and ended up killing a couple of people, and ended up getting sentenced to 32 years in prison. And when I got to prison, you know, I was a regular kid thrown into a situation that, you know, I can't sit here and say that I grew up in the ghetto and, you know, I got stopped by the police every week, and that's not my story. You know, my story is that I got involved with a situation, and it cost me 32 years. They sentenced me to 32 years into prison, and I went to prison and learned how to be a man.
How old were you when you were sentenced?
I was 17.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I had just turned 17, man. And but the thing that I had when I went to prison, that my dad was a career criminal, and he had established a reputation in prison. So, you know, everybody was like, "Oh, that's Hiawatha's son." So, you know, so I had that, but I still had to pay my dues.
Yeah.
You know. First situation I ever found myself in is a guy tried to bulldog me, and you know, I was given a knife, and so I ended up having to stab a guy a few times, and I went to solitary confinement for the first time for 2 years, and then that was just the start of a journey, man. And I ended up getting 3 college degrees while I was there. I have a degree in psychology, sociology, and theology.
That's it, man. That's what's
Yeah, man.
You made use of your time.
Oh man, either do the time or the time does you.
For real.
Yeah.
Psychology, huh?
Yeah, man. I wanted to know, you know, psychology is the study of the soul. You know, so I found myself in a situation, man, in prison at the age of, and I wanted to know why do human beings act the way that we act, you know? And I got the degree in sociology because it's the study of how we act in our environments. So I wanted to know why do we treat each other the way we treat us? And then of course I grew up religious most of my life. I grew up, you know, Christian, and I wanted to know, I got the theology degree because I wanted to know why would God allow me to be in this situation? You know, and so I just went on a journey, man. I just went on a knowledge journey. I wanted to know. I just wasn't gonna lay down and, you know, I could either be bitter or better.
Yeah.
You know, you either come out a big black guy that everybody's scared of, or you come out with some common sense and ready to give something back to humanity.
Yeah.
And that's the decision I made, man.
Shit. That's what's up, man. Huh.
That sounds like quite the journey.
Hey, man. It's been real. It's been real, man.
Yeah, sounds real.
It's been real. Stabbed 17 times.
Man.
Yeah. Been on my deathbed a couple of times. You know, so I'm what they call old school gangster, you know, but I tell people I'm reformed. You know, I'm the dangerous guy that just wants to be in the back, man. You know, I tell people I work at Walmart and I don't want to bother nobody and I don't want to be bothered. You know, but God has given me a gift. I have a gift of knowledge, wisdom, and being able to talk to people, and so even when I'm there, I come in with an attitude. I know Isaac looks at me sometimes. He's like, "Look at this motherfucker, man," because I come in, man, and I'm in my zone. You know, I meditate. It's important for me to have my head together before I deal with other human beings, so I don't put my shit off on them. You know, that's important. You know,
That's real.
you know, so yeah, man.
You know, yeah, you were telling me about, you know, like you use like war drums and stuff while you're, you know, like.
Yeah, man. I think all cultures, man, all cultures of people have something to offer humanity. And I got a lot of respect for the Native Americans, man, because they took a lot of the slaves in. You know, when runaway slaves would run away, a lot of the Indians would take them in and raise them and stuff, man. And so I really have a passion for like war music, anything that conquering or anything that has to do with war. I'm a warrior, man. It's just, hey, man, all my life I've just been a fighter. You know, I was born prematurely. You know, I was born 3 months early. You know, wasn't supposed to live. You know, I was the run of the litter. You know, growing up. So I've been fighting all my life, you know, so for me I'm a warrior. My zodiac sign is Leo, you know, so but I'm coming into my manhood. I don't know if that makes sense. I think I'm to the point where I'm past my passions. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys when someone says they're sort of past their passions? It's like I think most of our lives, man, we're controlled by what we're eating, possessions, how much stuff we have, guys, how much sexual interaction we're having, you know. And I think, man, I've experienced, you know, just about, you know, I haven't experienced $200 million, you know, but I've experienced having, you know, money. And I've had probably just about sex in every position, every situation that you can probably think of. So I'm to a point now, man, where I tell Isaac all the time, man, I'm like on a higher learning plan. I'm on like a spiritual plane of where I'm learning to treat other human beings with respect and honor, not see people as objects or things or situations or circumstances to further my own self. And that has taken a lot of discipline. It's painful, you know, but it's worth the journey, man. It's worth the journey.
You know, being smarter is, you know, harder, but you know, the shit, it's worth it. You know, being knowledgeable and knowing things, being able to help and fix, and you know, there's no price on that.
No, man, no price at all.
I got a lot of books.
Man, I see, man. Knowledge is king. Knowledge, man.
I'm working on my own. I don't know shit. That's all I know.
See, that's man, that's the smartest thing, man. When you think you know a lot.
I was 15 years old. I used to think I knew it all.
Yeah.
I remember that. I was like, nah, I'm like, oh man, I'm 24. I don't know anything.
We don't know, man.
I think I knew anything back then. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like, dang.
We don't, man.
Yeah. Constant learning.
Yes.
Even in just life, you know, you're always learning. It's teaching you.
Yes, it is, man. Every day you wake up, man, there's something new. If you just pay attention. I was telling Isaac that, you know, I don't know if he told you, but I'm preparing to have a hip surgery. You know, I have degenerative hips, because of all the shit I've been through, you know, 20 years in prison, laying on concrete, walking, fighting. My body is starting to say, you know, enough is enough. Yeah. And so I be trying to tell Isaac all the time, man, that I don't know if you've ever heard of something called choice reality.
I could kind of understand.
Go ahead. What do you think choice reality is?
Choose your reality.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. We live in a world nowadays, man, where everybody's trying to escape reality. We're all trying to escape. We're all trying to have, we don't really want to have these type of conversations.
Yeah.
See, we want to do it from a distance. We want to have opinions instead of standing on truths and facts. So, choice reality, man, is something that sooner or later you will have to deal with. Yeah. It's sort of like the sowing and the reaping, you know, aspect, but choice reality is something that we all deal with from the moment that we're born into this world. And by every choice that you make, there is a consequence. Every choice, every word you speak, there's a consequence. And you gotta get to the point, and this is the difference between those who succeed and those who fail in life, is early on, if you learn choice reality, and you learn that by the power of my choice, I create my reality, you become a powerful, successful individual. But if it takes you 20 or 30 years to learn those principles, you're behind in the game. You see how powerful your choices are? I mean, but most of us make the same choices all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. You know, I just finished the 48 Laws.
Oh,
and, dude,
my goodness.
You know, like I was telling him, I feel, you know, just in control. You know, like, yeah, that's what it is. You know, when you know, like, what's going on around you and just, like, how people are playing their cards too, you know, you truly have a better understanding of what you should do and can do.
Yeah, we're all in, you know, somebody said somebody asked me the other day, they said, well, man, what do you think it's all about? I says, what I think it's all about, what I'm learning is it's about, we're all born into this existence, okay? We're born into this existence. Everybody's trying to survive. Everybody's trying to survive. I mean, a baby's trying to live, man. I mean, so from the moment you're born, it's about your survival. And to be honest, man, fuck everybody else's survival. It's about what I want, and it's about my right. That's who we are.
For real, though.
We're trying to sit here and we're trying to come off like we're just these really moral, great principled human beings, when really it's about survival, man. I mean, we learn that really early. We learn really early, man, that if we don't survive, then we don't exist. And for some reason, existence is really important to us, right? And so everybody's trying to survive and everybody's trying to exist, man. But somewhere along the line, we got off the path. We got off the path of treating each other with dignity, honor, and respect.
Yeah.
And we're so off that path now that a person can look you in the face with the worst intentions and convince you that they have you're good. They want what's best for you in life, and be ready to. And that's what I was trying to explain to this young man as he is choosing to climb the ladder of corporate in Walmart, which I'm sure he will do if that's what his goal is, if that's what he's deciding he wants to do. But I'm trying to also express to him that there's a price to be paid to get there. And a lot of time that price is not a pretty price. You're going to have moments where you're going to have to decide whether you're going to treat everybody with honor, dignity, and respect all the time. And how many of us are disciplined enough or self-aware enough to treat each other with dignity and respect all the time and not sell out? Not very many of us, bro.
Yeah.
If we're honest.
Yeah. You know, and even honestly, you know, in like the job, I find it increasingly harder to be, you know, just so, you know, calm and chill.
Human.
You know, well, yeah. Well, because, you know, it's just hard, you know, because, I mean, you know, now there's expectations upon me, you know, I have to meet expectations. When I don't meet those expectations, you know, I'm held accountable, and it's like, so now I gotta hold these people accountable, because if it's, you know, and it's just hard sometimes, because, you know, yeah, like, I was telling you, you know, I don't like being an asshole and stuff or a bad guy, but, you know, there's, you know, yeah, you have to be stern, you know, you have to be firm and address things.
You're put into a leadership. You're a leader.
Yeah.
You're there because that's what you asked for. Yeah. So that's no. See, that's where we have an issue. You're there because that's what you asked for, brother. We're all where we're at because this is what we asked for. I'm sitting on this podcast in this moment is because this is what was meant to be. This is what I asked for. This is what you guys asked for. The moment that you accept the reality that you've created, remember, reality, consequences, reality. You're choosing all the time.
Yeah.
You're choosing all the time. Every moment that you get up, you're going, okay, my reality. And so you chose somewhere that you wanted a leadership position in this company.
Yeah.
And the universe said, okay, here you go. But you didn't sit down and write out and journal out exactly what you wanted and exactly what you thought that may have encompassed the consequences, the pros and the cons. Yeah. You didn't do that.
Well, I kind of did. You know, it's just, I didn't go that deep. You know, I didn't think, you know, obviously, because I was naive, you know. I kind of thought I could walk it my way, you know, but obviously sometimes you got to make compromises. And, you know, I've come to learn to, and it's not saying I don't like the job, you know, it's just saying I've had to learn a lot, you know, and have to adapt, you know, to be a certain way, because you have to be a certain way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you do. It's one of the songs I listen to is Sucker for Pain. And it's one of my favorite songs, and in the end verse, I think it's can't think of his name, but he says no emotion. That's what business is.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's business.
It's just business, man. We're friends. But when we step in Walmart and you put that vest on and it has team lead on it, you're my boss. Yeah. I have to exchange our friendship. See, and that's why they say don't hire your family or your friends. Because the expectations are different.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So you have to decide how close you want to get to people when you're at a job, because once you get close to them, they start to exchange energy to you, and they start to exchange emotions, and then it's harder to be the boss.
For real.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, and I appreciate all you've been pouring into me as well, man. You know, you've definitely been helping me on this journey as well, to be honest.
Hey man, you're a great kid, man. I see that you're very nice. You're a very nice guy, and I see that you're gonna have to grow up really fast. You know, and that's me, man. Like I said, I've had to grow up fast. I tell people I think I'm probably about 2,000 years old, mentally or spiritually, because I've had to grow up fast. Brother, if you go to prison when you're 17 years old, you grow up fast. All right? And so mentally I learned to read. I really got into nonfiction really fast. You know, I like stuff that's the truth. You know, and so yeah, man. So I just encourage you, brother. You're gonna be all right. You'll be all right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
He is, man.
Graduated high school. He did a little bit of college already.
Thank you both. They're all great people. You know?
You gotta see, man. You know why they call it self-esteem?
Why?
Because it's about yourself. If you let me decide your self-esteem, I'll create you into the images that I want you to be, right? But brother, that's why I told you, when you're like in those leadership meetings, when you're doing those leadership meetings, you got to stand up there and you got to lift your head up and you got to talk to those people, because they're looking at you for leadership. You know how most people, when you say let's get up and do the cheer, a lot of people are just like, and I agree that sometimes I'm not the most, you know, I could probably be a little more enthusiastic, but as a leader, man, you're going to have to learn to lead. I mean, 48 laws of power. Whew. Phenomenal. You should be walking around like, you know.
He's just not trying to be arrogant.
But it has nothing. It's not about being arrogant, man. I mean, there's a difference between. See, arrogance is when someone thinks they have some knowledge, but they ain't never really applied it. You know, strength, wisdom, knowledge. Knowledge is the ability to apply wisdom. So once you've applied it and you see what effects it has, you can walk around and say, okay, yeah, I get that. I understand that. I see that coming. I tell people, man, I see people coming, man, probably a mile away, because I've been exposed to environments where, you know, you either know what's around you or who's around you, or you know, and so that's why I tell you, if you're reading these books, apply that knowledge. You're in an environment at Walmart where you got all types of personalities there, bro.
Yeah.
You're dealing with everything in 48 laws of power every day at your job.
Yeah.
Apply it, bro. I mean, humble. Meek doesn't mean weak.
Wait, what?
Meek doesn't mean weak. Jesus was meek, but meek means strength under control. It means I have my strength under control. I can kick your ass because I'm meek. I'm gonna let that pass. A horse can buck you off at any time.
Yeah.
But he allows you to get on his back. That's meekness.
My cat can scratch me, but she
at any time.
For real.
That's meek. That's strength under control. That's knowing what your ability is, but you don't have to impress it on people. That's meek. There's nothing wrong with being assured and letting people know that, hey, man, I know what I'm doing here. I got this under control. You know, people need that nowadays, bro. We need strong leadership nowadays.
I feel that.
Right?
No, real talk.
Come on, man.
You know, kids growing up without dads, you know what I'm saying? Freaking
yeah, man.
Families falling apart. You know, it's hard out here.
It is, man. But it's we talk about this all the time. The system is changing everything. And when I say the system, you know what I'm talking about, man. The system, man. The system is changing everything, man. It's changing our morals. It's changing our values. Right?
For real.
They're changing what we consider manhood, womanhood. Come on, man. You see it. And you're having to adapt. Like I was telling you, I was telling you, man, I haven't had sex, man, probably in about 6 months. You know, and I haven't masturbated in probably a month. and I'm trying to do what's called sex transmutation. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I've heard a little bit.
Right, but they say that the greatest creators and the greatest artists and stuff, man, they were able to take their sexuality and control it and harness that energy and put it in other things. And it's true, man. I mean, when you're not in that zone, you're able to expand your mind into other things, and it's creative, man. You learn that you're a lot more creative, you're a lot more attentive, you're a lot more focused, you're a lot more open, you are like, and it's a process, man. It's a process, man. It's a battle. Right? You know that, man. They say a man thinks about sex, every 6 seconds?
Yeah, I've been working on that.
Right. We have to. It's a part of who we are. We're spirit, soul, and body. Let's keep it real. We try to act like that we're not. That's why I'm telling Isaac all the time, man. I'm like, man, bro, I mean, it's different out here. The way men and women relate nowadays, it's a different ball game. I think men, we're sowing what we've reaped. Remember how we used to treat women like, right?
I've been seeing that.
Right.
It's a huge thing right now, for sure. We're getting karma.
Yeah.
Booms.
Yeah.
It's like hitting us in the nuts.
It's hitting us right back in the nuts. The way we used to treat them.
Straight up.
Now they're like, hey.
They're straight playing us.
Straight, hey, man. Karma, man. It's the reality. So how do we fix it?
Be better?
Yeah.
Teach better.
Yeah, teach better, man. When you do find yourself in an intimate relationship, if that's what you're going after, when we do find ourselves in relationships, honesty's the first key, man. And for us, as a lot of men, we're not honest. We come into relationships with a lot of bullshit, just like they do. But we're not talking about women. We're talking about us. And as men, we have a responsibility, man, that when we come into a relationship, to put all our cards on the table. And how often do all of us put our cards on the table? We don't.
Mm-hmm.
We either have some fucked up addiction, or some anger problem, or we've been used or abused when we were young, and we have insecurities, and we don't just lay those on the table. And then that type of shit comes up later, and then we expect for them to relate to us, and then we haven't even fixed our own shit. So that's why when you're young, like you guys, man, you guys are young, man. You guys are still young. This is when you guys should be taking some time. I'm not telling you to stop being that hunter that you are, because that's in you to find her, but what I would say, man, is find yourself first. Sit down. I mean, because we don't do it, man. Sit down and spend some time with yourself. Go in your bathroom, man. Go in your bathroom for an hour a day.
Look in the mirror.
And just sit on the toilet, man.
Sit on the toilet.
Or I tell people, get in the bathtub and take a bubble bath and just figure out who the fuck you are, man. I done 8 of my 20 years in solitary confinement.
Wow.
Which is 23 hours a day by myself. Right. So you gotta know who you are, man. You gotta know what your limitations are. You gotta know what your capabilities are. And most of us don't know that. So when we're put in a stressful situation, we don't know how we would react. But if you sit in your bathroom for an hour a day and you imagine certain situations through, or the way you think they would go, or the way you think you want them to go, you'll find out that before you get into those situations, you'll find those things clicking together like a puzzle. I think that's where we sort of get those deja vu moments where we feel like, fuck, I've been here before.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever done any psychedelics, but in one of my, lessons that I've learned, it's like in knowing who I am not, I know who I am. And like, that's why I like reading a lot of stuff and like different books and, like fiction, nonfiction, and just learning history and, you know, and seeing all these other things, you know, I feel like I know, like when I see this and learn about it, I'm like, you know, I kind of know more about myself by knowing how I feel about it, you know, and like how I interpret it. And it's interesting because, yeah, like I said, you know, knowing what I am not and I know what I am, and that just kind of helps me understand who I am.
Yeah. That's deep.
For real.
That's nice.
That's kind of what I do too. I get all the like outside perspectives, you know, and I just see what it, you know, it just always, everything seems to have a piece for me, you know, and it teaches me something, like everybody. You know,
so you think it's an inward thing? It's not so much a.
I feel like, yeah, it's kind of an inward thing. Like I'm like seeking for something that I don't even know what I'm seeking for, you know. So I just kind of just let it come to me, you know, and let it speak to me, you know, when it does, you know what I'm saying.
That it that you talk about. What is that it?
I don't know. Like, I don't like to say God because I feel like it contains, you know, the essence. But I would just say spirit, you know, or whatever is guiding me along my journey and speaks to me. Because I know there's something there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not religious or nothing, but I definitely believe in higher power, you know, and I know there's something there, and it's definitely guided me, and it's always had my back my whole life, and it always will. So I'm just like trying to follow that and see where it goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's always brought me to great places. I feel like.
Yeah.
So that's where we're here right now. I got my own place even.
Yeah, that's an accomplishment for a young man nowadays. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, all my life, you know, I know there's a God, you know, but I know there's something there that has been guiding me all my life also. And like I said, man, I grew up, like most of us, we grew up Christian or, you know, because we live in America. But man, it's like, bro, over the last 8-9 years, man, it's been, I mean, my experiences, it's just expanded me to the point where it's bigger than that to me. You know, I started doing meditation. I've been doing meditation for years and years, but I really actually started, you know, watching YouTube because, you know, you guys have resources out here that you guys can tap into just about anything, man. And so I started doing a lot of guided meditation and stuff, man. And I started watching this one called I Am, and I had read the books Conversations with God.
Damn, you read those?
Brother, like,
I read the first
like 15
two.
times, bro. Like 15 times, bro. Yeah, man. So I'm sitting in here, man, and I'm like, man, I want that type of experience, you know, God, you know, talk to me. And man, I was just like, and then I started studying this other religion, man, and it was teaching that, you know, which I always felt, man. I always felt that, you know, because people, we get it, you know, when you start saying, I am God, people say, this dude must be a fanatic, you know? And so, but I started feeling that principle. I started saying, well, why can't I be, if I am a part of God, wouldn't that make me, you know, God? Wouldn't that make me, if I come from God and God created me, wouldn't that make me a son or a child of God? It just makes sense, right? But for some reason, man, we're taught to don't you ever, you know, think that you have the ability to be God, the creator. But we are every day. We create every day, right? Yeah. We create our existence every day. If I get up in the morning in a bullshit mood, I'm creating, right? So what's the next step each day? If I get up and I say, fuck, this is going to be a fucked up day, the process is, it's usually a fucked up day. That's creative, right?
For real.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you know, now check this out. Did you know that the word creative and reactive, they're the same word?
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that?
Pretty much, yeah. You just...
They are. Right. That's it. The seed just moved.
Huh.
They're the same word. So you have to decide in life whether you're going to be creative or whether you're going to be reactive. And that's, hey bro, that's the, you know, that's the everyday creative process. Do I create original shit that others can use to move humanity on to where it's supposed to be? Or am I just a reactive motherfucker that moves along with the herd? Right? I'm just reactive. If you say something to me, I react. If you do something to me, I react. Which one you gonna be, man? Are you gonna step outside of the box and create some shit? Or are you gonna be reactive all your life? Most people are reactive. Yeah. And they enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to say. If you just get along with yourself for an hour, man, you'll become so fucking creative, man, that you'll start to realize that you are a spirit, that you are a soul, and that you are a body, and that all part of those aspects are important to you, and that you shouldn't deny any of them. You shouldn't deny your body, eating, sex. You shouldn't deny it. It's the same with your soul, which is your feelings, your emotions, and your desires. You shouldn't deny it. And of course, your spirit, man. Your spirit is the highest part of who you are as an individual. It's not captivated by any moral law or stigma. Your spirit doesn't care about that type of stuff, man. It's your soul that cares about what people think and how I feel about a situation. Your spirit is telling you, man, just flow. Just fucking be. And we're all afraid of just being ourselves, man. And that's why when you see me and I'm walking around, I'm singing all night, I'm being me. I'm not trying to impress anybody or make anybody. It's what makes me happy, man. And what other people think about that's their reactive process. And so that's what it's about, bro. Creative or reactive. You're creating. You see, your dad was in the joint, you're being creative. You decided it stops with me. And that's what you got to do, man. You know, the Bible says that the sins of the father are visited upon the children all the way to the third generation. So anything your father struggled with, guess what? Unless you break the link, you and your children will struggle with the same things that he struggles with.
Yeah, man. Break the cycle.
Break the cycle, man. Break the cycle, man.
Shit. It's truth.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm stuck in a loop.
Yeah, man.
Generational loops,
man. Remember the children of Israel went around the mountain 40 years. You know, a journey that should have took 1 year took them 40 years. That's symbolism.
What was it?
The children of Israel, when they came out of Egypt, and Moses was leading them out of Egypt to the promised land, and God said, take this journey. But during the whole journey, they complained and did stupid shit like we do. You know, like you said, God always provides, you know, always takes care of you. Shit always turns out right. But what do? We always complain and we think, we ain't gonna fucking make it out of this, bro. And right. And so a journey that should have took them 1 year to understand that God was all sufficient, all knowing, all taken care of. I got your back. We decided that we'd rather lean on our complaints, or the Israelites decided they wanted to complain, and so it took them 40 years. They walked in a circle for 40 years, bro. 40 years. And that's what we do with our thoughts a lot of times. Our thoughts are creative, right? So they say you have 60,000 thoughts in a day, but 30,000 of those thoughts are the same thoughts that you had yesterday. So you're going in a constant loop. So when do you ever stop?
Yeah, need an unplug.
An hour, man. 1 hour. If you'll just go in there 1 hour, man, and just See, you're doing it already, bro. And that's what it is, to be able to, no matter where you're at, to be able to just and just see through the, and that's spiritual. That's and that's a gifting, that to know people, to feel people, to sense people, that's a gifting, and you have that gifting, but you're afraid of that gifting. I don't know why, but you have it, man. You have that. You have the ability to get close to people. People want to tell you their shit. You know what I'm saying? That's a gift, brother. You're sitting around waiting on, most of us are. We're sitting around and waiting on God to tell us, hey man, this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is your gifting, but your gifting is with you all the time. I go through it all the time. I come there and I go, okay, man, no one has to know anything about you. You don't have to counsel anybody. You don't have to do any of that, bro. And I'll come in and I'll put my headphones on and I'll be in my zone, and somebody will come up and say, hey, man, I'm struggling with this, man. What should I do? And the next thing I know, I've learned that's the gift. That's God. That's that it's always going to be all right. It's like we said, like I was telling Isabel at work, come on, Isabel, every time you think it's the worst that it's ever been, you're not going to survive. You survive. You're 60 years old, woman. Right?
Yeah.
So just live, man. Stop worrying about where you're going to live, what you're going to eat, what clothes you're going to wear. Just be a good fucking person, man. Treat people with dignity, respect, honor, even when you don't feel like it. That's when it's the hardest. Right? Right, bro? Be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm a no games type of person, man. I don't know how people feel about me at work. I can imagine. Because most of when I come around, most human beings, their humanness it amazes me. I hate my humanness. So when I come around other human beings, their humanness seems to really just perplex me sometimes, because I'm like, can't we just fucking get it together? You know, we're stronger than this, we're better than this, because man, we're coming off right now as human beings, we're coming off really weak, bro. Right?
I ain't gonna lie, man. I swear, bro.
Talk about it, man.
We are the mental states across the board is just detrimental. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why suicide rate's so high. You know, if we just not being raised right. We're not being taught how to deal with our emotions as kids, right? You know what I'm saying? And another thing is, we got kids teaching kids. You know, you got parents just always working. Like, I understand, you know, we got to get bills paid and all this and that, but we need guidance. You know, like how we're saying.
Yeah.
You know, we just need some type of guidance. Maybe they need boxing or something. I don't know. You know,
they need like, what y'all are doing,
or like, you know, us, or like maybe we could. I don't know what we could do. Maybe this will help.
This is phenomenal. There are people who are sitting on their couch saying, "Man, I'd love to do a podcast." All it takes is that one person see your podcast, and boom. You know that, man. You guys know that's. Remember, creative. Keep on the path, man. Keep on the path, man. I mean, and you're exactly right, man. We, like I said, we don't teach each other anymore, man. Our motto used to be reach one, teach one. Yeah. You know, we don't do that anymore. We feel, and I understand. I talk to a lot of old heads or old school people, and they say, man, we're just tired. We're just tired. And the problem is, you can't afford to get tired, right? You can't afford to get tired. This is what happens. What's going on? This is what happens when we get tired.
You know, and that was something you was talking about before too, like about patience. You know, that patience doesn't run out. You know, that at least it shouldn't. You know, that you got to work on having, just unlimited patience.
To the death.
Because once you're not patient, you're not patient.
And then impatience leads to irrationality, and when people become irrational, they become physically incapable to control themselves, and people hurt each other and do things that right? I mean, so I don't know how you guys feel, man, but I have felt that, I came out of prison with enthusiasm, thinking I was going to change the world, and I had all these great ideas, and real fast, the reality check of, unless we all come together, it can't be done unless we all come together, man. And we got to be willing to come together.
If we reach the right people, boom.
It only takes a spark, man. You meet that one person, man, who sees your podcast, man, and it could change the world, man. And if that's your hope, and if that's what your dream, man, you got to stick to that, no matter what, man. No matter what the criticism is, no matter how hard it gets, you got to be willing to sacrifice everything, man. If you really believe in the concept of changing the world, man. Do you understand how big that is?
Yeah.
For you to even say that you want to do that, you're telling me that you can't fucking be a manager at Walmart? And you want to change the world? If you can't deal with the little world of Walmart, brother, you are going to be really in sad shape. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what it's about, man. It's about, it's easy for me to sit here and say what I want to do. But I have to sit down every day. I have to sit down now as I get older. My body is starting to say I can't do what I used to do. And I have to go, okay, I can go to work for 8 hours. I can do this for 2 hours. And you have to understand, what you're capable of doing, man. And you got to step into your line until you're strong enough to get where you want to go, man. And so you got to be in control of your world first.
Real.
For me, it's important for me because I'm an out of control motherfucker, man. I don't know if you can see it in my eyes, but man, I am a bad man, and so I have to self-control and self-discipline is really important to me, man, because when I'm not, I'm the opposite. I'm that. Oh man. But we all have that part of us. We all have that monster part of us. I'm just really in touch with Bob. You in touch with your monster?
Almost.
You in touch with your monster?
Maybe. I think it's important to think about, it's about thought to action, and there's a difference between that. And a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah.
That, there's a difference. It's okay to think some things,
Oh, yeah.
Thoughts are totally free range.
Yeah. They're free, baby. They're free, yeah.
And it's like,
I think about smashing heads all the time, bro. I'm not going to bullshit you. I mean, I think all the time. I'm like, but then I go, oh shit, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't. Not in the world we live in. It doesn't,
It's not what it is.
It's not what it is, man. You can't just go around smashing everybody. If men, think about this, if we acted on every thought where would we be? Every broad that you ever thought about smashing, where would you be? Right. You couldn't make it through a building. So yeah, you're right. Thought to action is a motherfucker, man. I mean, it's that thought, it's creative. It's definitely creative, man. And as I get older, I'm learning that it is mind over matter most of the time. It is mind over matter. It's if you genuinely put your intent out, and if your intent is pure, you know what I mean when I say pure. A lot of us intend shit for the wrong purpose. Why do I want $200 million? What's the intent behind me wanting that $200 million? And it's the first intent. If my first intent is to fuck off, chances are you're probably not going to get that $200 million. But I really believe in my soul that if your intent is, the first intent is really to further and help humanity, I believe all the doors are open. I think that's what opens the puzzle. But I think most of the time our intent behind what we really want, we're not honest. You know what I mean when I say that you're ashamed of what you really want to, I really want that because I want to do this, but you, in your heart, you think that's wrong. And so the universe goes, okay, you can't have that then.
Yeah.
You
sell
know?
yourself short.
Right, you sell yourself short, but if you can enter into situations, man, with the right intent, then you get the best out of every situation. And with people, man, if you come in and your intention is you want Walmart to be the best company that it can be, and you want to do everything that you can do, then that purposeful intent will be carried forward. But if you listen to all the bullshit that you hear going on around you about how Walmart can't change and how they this and they don't care and that it's not going to change, because change starts with one person, man. Right? I mean, if I'm talking bullshit, just tell me I'm bullshitting. If I mean, brother, we think a lot, but we don't think. Do you know what I mean when I say that? We don't purposely think.
Yeah.
We think about shit, but we don't think. And I'm learning in my life to think. I mean, before I relate to people, I really make the decision whether I have the energy and the strength to deal with these people. Because if I make the intended purpose to be in your life, then I'm going to make a difference in your life. But if I'm just fucking around in your life with bad intention, we don't get anywhere, man. I remember 40 years in that desert. Yeah. We keep going around. You keep fucking with the same bullshit people. You keep getting the same bullshit results, bro.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, it's just about time.
Yes.
Let's break them cycles.
Yes.
Continue to do so.
Yeah. Thank y'all for having me, man.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Love to have you back sometime.
Yes. Love to.
Awesome dude.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Love y'all.
Until next time.
Yeah, man.